Welcome back, everybody, to the show that is Not Our Crib. I am the man of the house, and how is everybody doing today? Before I get ahead of myself, make sure you guys like, comment, share, subscribe. I really appreciate it. If you can't already tell, I have been sick all week, and I've been losing my voice. It's been coming and going, and I was kind of holding off on doing the podcast, but I figured since I haven't done anything, I might as well do an episode, and if I don't like it, we'll just go ahead and re-record it. But anyways, without further ado, let's get into today's first topic. Now, this came across, look at that, voice cracking and everything. I haven't had a voice crack since I was like 16. This came across when I had seen like a trailer for like a drama show. And one thing that I picked up on is that in these television shows, especially long-running drama shows, for some reason, the main character and some of their friends, rivals that become friends, frenemies, whatever, they always end up dating their exes. And I thought that was kind of weird. I understand it's a show. They want to ship characters together and try out new fan-made shippings and love quarrelsomes or whatever you want to call it, love triangles, whatever, love quartets, love squares, whatever it could be. I'm not someone who's like, my friends can't date my ex, because once it's over, it's over. Like, let me get through my healing side, my healing stage, and then move on, especially when I move on. Because there are scenarios where guys are like, would you let your mans date your ex when you find a new girl? And they're like, nah, I would never. And I'm like, that's kind of weird, because if you were to present this question in front of your girl, you probably would have not said the same thing, because like you already done moved on. If you didn't move on, I can understand, but you already have moved on. So why are you gatekeeping who can date your ex? She's gonna find somebody anyway. You just don't want it to be your boys. And in the belief that they probably was always plotting, it's not always the case, but I would never do it, because what my friends like and what I like are very different. So I'm going to try to call a few people, and I'm going to ask them, would they let their friend date their ex? And would you date your friend's ex? Let's see. Who's the first person I want to call? Oh, yeah, I got this one.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available.
Alright. First fail. Shoot. Might as well. Being over 2 is crazy. Being over 2 is crazy. Okay, I just got on the phone with you. You better answer.
Hello.
Hey, I got a quick question for the podcast. All right. Would you let your friend date your ex, and would you date your friend's ex?
Fuck no.
Why not?
This nigga is super fuck no.
What's wrong with your friend dating your ex?
First off, if it didn't work out with me, why would it work out with them? Me and my friends acting like.
And why would you not want to date their ex? Same logic?
Yeah, because if it ain't work out with them, what make you think it's gonna work out with me? I'm their friend.
I understand. What if you found out your friend started dating your ex? How would you feel?
I think it depends how long. Because some people don't got the same,
Same feelings, same.
like same feelings, grew up the same way. Like,
Yeah. What if it's
and
like
I feel like it depends on how long I date her.
what if it's like
If it's like 3 weeks, I mean, by all means. But if it's like 3 years locked in, you've been around us, we went on third wheeling, you was third wheeling all that. That's mad weird. That's gonna make me think you on my own this whole time.
damn. All right, man. I appreciate it. Let me get on with the rest of the people who need to answer their damn phone. All right, bro. Peace. Would you date your friend's ex, and would you let your friend date your ex?
No, I wouldn't date my friend's ex because, first of all, that's weird and I don't do sloppy seconds. And also, you said, what was the other part of the question?
Would you let your friend date your ex?
If I stopped, I don't really have exes, first of all. There's like probably one that is eligible to be considered an ex. And also, they wouldn't do that. First of all, me and my friends all have different types. So we all look at each other's, like, the people we like, ew. Like, we would never look at, like, it's not like that. Also, the specific person I'm thinking about, no, I would have a problem with it if they did. I would be bothered. I would.
Then you what? You go around and sabotage it? You break the windows of their car?
No, I wouldn't do nothing. I'd be awkward. I wouldn't want to talk. Like, okay, I guess he gonna play you like he played me.
Do you think you could be friends with that person if they did date your ex?
I'm thinking about my actual friends. They wouldn't do that. Like, they wouldn't do that.
I know. Would you think there's an acceptable time window someone can date an ex without feeling some type of way? Or is it even ever okay?
I mean, I feel like if you're close friends, like, if you're actually friends with somebody, like, close, like, my group of friends, we're very, very close. I know I keep saying the same thing, but we literally would never do that. And, like, any of my friends' exes that they've been with, it's been, like, a long time. I still would never, like, you've had intercourse with people. Like, I don't want to have intercourse with people my friends had intercourse with. Like, I don't know. Like, I just want a new person, my own person. I don't want to deal with my friend's ex, and I'm sure it's the same for me. They wouldn't want to deal with my ex either.
That's what's up.
Yes, ma'am.
Quick question for the podcast. Would you let your friend date your ex, and would you date your friend's ex?
I have before, and I have before.
Wow.
How did that go?
It was funny. We went on a double date.
What? Y'all just I did a trade, like.
Deadass. We deadass did a trade.
Oh my goodness. Did things get better with the ex? Like, was the relationship better, or?
We ended up swapping back and going back to our regular girlfriends.
What? Yeah. See, okay, because the reason why I ask is because I've noticed in a lot of drama shows they always have characters swapping girlfriends, and I guess it makes sense for high schoolers to do that. I don't know, because my friend said he would never and
Popovich subbed me in, and then I got sent back on the bench.
Oh my goodness! Well, all right, man. I appreciate
Nah.
it.
Let me rephrase that. The GM traded me and then wanted me back.
Yo, you're too much. All right, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, see you, Brian.
All right. Yeah.
What you doing?
I got a quick question for you on the podcast. Would you date your friend's ex, and would you let your friend date your ex?
Boy, you must be out your fucking marbles. Why the fuck would I do that? Why would I do that? She must have lost her Mario coins, because I definitely about to knock them out of her. What the fuck? fuck? Who she think she is? Talking about some dating my ex. How is your code? When I'm done with her, she ain't gonna know whether she in heaven or hell. She gonna be a wandering spirit. I swear to God, don't know where she belong.
Oh my goodness.
She chose the right one to fuck her up that day.
The reason why I ask, because I've noticed in TV shows, it's like the characters end up dating each other's exes for some weird reason. And I was just like, would anyone?
Is that Nana?
Huh?
What is it? An anime, Nana?
No. It's just like in normal shows in general, like All American, Riverdale. They always.
That can't be me. I slap a bitch. Slap a bitch silly. Slap a bitch back into her mama coochie. Reborn again. And come to her senses the right way. Yeah, I don't know why you asked me that. I was the wrong person. You want to ask me.
I appreciate the input. I need to get back to recording. Thank you so much.
Oh, okay. Well, all right.
Bye. We gonna hop into the Twitch stream of Mr. Fairy, and we gonna see what he got to say.
Question. Would you date your friend's ex, and would you date your friend's ex?
Yes, I would.
And would you? Okay.
What type of question is this, bro? Would I date my friend's ex? No, I wouldn't. Yo, this is a real question, bro. Would you take down an obese woman? I'm talking about 400 pounds. Or would you hit a midget?
I'm hitting a midget. I'm sorry, bro. Yo, real quick, question for the podcast. Would you date your friend's ex, and would you let your friend date your ex?
No to both.
Why no to both?
There's too many girls in the world for you to be dating your friend's ex.
That's so facts. That's such a funny rationalization. That's so facts.
And it's just like a lack of respect for his friend.
I understand. The reason why I ask is I noticed in a lot of drama shows, the characters end up dating each other's exes for some weird reason. So I wanted to see, in real time, would people actually be okay with dating their friend's ex?
No, sir.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you for your input. Peace. Okay, let me call one more person. Would you date your friend's ex, and would you let your friend date your ex?
Both no.
Both no. Okay, explain, please.
I would not get a first ex because one, that breaks bro code, and two, if they broke up, if he broke up with her, she'd probably batshit crazy. And two, if one of my friends asked to date my ex, I'd be like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with it?
What if I ask? How would you feel?
Well, one, we have two wildly different tastes in women.
Most definitely. So you'd probably be more concerned about why I have a change of heart?
I'd be like, bro, switching sides, what the fuck?
Okay. I appreciate your input. Have a great night at work.
If you want to date the woman I date, I'll be like, bro's been enlightened finally.
I've been enlightened? Nah, I would probably be I'd probably be like, yeah, I think my life is a little too good right now. I need somebody to mess it up for me.
Yeah, I need somebody to make me want to kill myself, but you know.
Yeah, my life needs a little spice. Hey, man, peace. Have a good night, bro.
Peace. Have a good one.
That was hilarious. Okay. So with that being said, not everybody's a Jughead and Archie dating Betty's and Veronica's, or Spencer James and Asher dating Chloe's and Olivia's. So you heard what people had to say, but what do you think? Go ahead and comment in the comment section below. Would you date your friend's ex, and would you let your friend date your ex? Also noticed like I have the white light on, so it's making my skin look lighter than it actually is. So I had to change it to more of a warmer color. Proper speech. I've noticed when recording myself and doing editing for my podcast, the way that I speak. And a lot of the time, it may sound that I'm speaking very clearly because, I'm doing a lot of editing. But I am saying a lot of ums, ands, and this and that. What I have noticed that I've taken out into the real world is how much I speak reminiscent, or how do I want to say that? The way that I speak in the real world is reminiscent of the people that I interact with. whether it's at work or at home, there is some form of commonality. Is that even a word? Commonality that the way we speak aligns with each other. And it's kind of getting on my nerves because it's almost like I'm having to hear myself again more than I already have to when I have to record myself. Sometimes I don't like my voice. Sometimes I can change my voice up a little bit. Maybe I just need a different microphone. Maybe I just need a different setup or more styrofoam around here. I don't know. One of the most important things that I've taken in my college career was public speaking. As being a communication major, not only just knowing how to write or speak properly, but being more comfortable speaking. And what I took away from public speaking is how people present themselves when talking and how they present speech. Speaking with confidence conveys your message even more, and people tend to believe you a lot more. And what I want to do is often speak with that level of intelligence and confidence, so I'm not just speaking the way that I normally am with my friends, because I don't need to speak more. I don't have to speak properly in order to get my point across. We all just happen to know what we're saying. And I tend to want to be separate from others, not because I feel like that I'm better, but because it kind of gets on my nerves. It's kind of a reminder of where I'm not going, and that's more so moving upwards. And that's why I want to elevate my speech. So I often think it's very beneficial that people tend to spend more of their time watching and reading TED Talks and reading books as well to help improve your speech and pay attention to your speech patterns. When I hear people say things like that, things like that, things like that, I can think of 20 different people off the top of my head because they all say things like that. I can also indicate the amount of time someone says hey before speaking in another person's voice or speaking in another type of situation. So, for example, if you were to go down to the bank and request a PPP loan, you would say, hey, I have a business that I'm interested in building or I'm interested in maintaining, and I'm going to need this loan in order to fund it. Or, because everyone already says that, I can present it to you as you go down to the bank and you are trying to get yourself a loan. You tell the tailor that you're running a business and that you need to fund it with these funds. Here's what the business plan is. This is how the business is being run, and this is how I'm going to allocate the finances. You see how I had a completely different way of explaining it, all because I took out something like hey, so it's not as a casual thing, it's more of a professional thing. And that just came off the dome. I'm too smart for this, but but elevating your level of speech is something that I'm working on more and more, especially being someone who is being the sole speaker on a podcast. It helps people listen to you a lot better. And as I do my research, we'll check back in and see how the results tend to vary. And you can even tell me in the comments, do I tend to talk like somebody you know? Do I speak better online than I do in person, if you know me personally? And if the way I'm speaking is very articulate or clear, just let me know in the comments. Anyways, so if you can't tell by the Captain America plushie that I got back there, I went and seen the Captain America movie over the weekend, and there will be spoilers in this segment. So if you haven't seen it, I do recommend you go and see it for yourself and coming back to this. But if you haven't seen it, I will drop some spoilers of the movie. First and foremost, I'd like to say the reviews for this movie saying that it's the third worst Marvel movie are a fat lie. It's not the best Marvel movie, but it's most definitely far from the worst. And the best way that someone else put it was, it's just the worst Winter Soldier, which is one of my favorite Captain America movies. One of my favorite Marvel movies is Winter Soldier. What I can say about the movie, I thought the movie was pretty good. It was definitely solid, and I would give it more of like a 5.8. I can't quite give it a 6 because the movie did feel very average. Almost slightly above average, but it's definitely a step in the right direction for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I'm glad it wasn't a hot piece of garbage, especially with Anthony Mackie's performance as the new Captain America. But one of my first critiques about him as Captain America is that he never really sold me as Captain America. And since I didn't watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I didn't really get to see too much of how he was as trying to be Captain America. But I definitely do believe in his ability. One of the best things about him is his leadership. And being that he is a veteran himself, and he also helped other veterans get over the traumas of war and the hardships and struggles that they face which was often shown in Captain America: Winter Soldier when he was introduced. That plays a huge part in how he interacts with other vets, other friends, and people who fight alongside of him. And they definitely nailed that part of the movie, part of his character. But it's more than just having those personal one-on-one talks. And the one thing that the movie failed to show is how he interacts with the rest of the country. Captain America is now recognized as a government position for the character, and he's more than just being a superhero. He's a symbol. So having that symbol, he should speak to more than just a couple of people in a room or within a fight. There's not one part of this movie where he has to address the American people or even a large group of people. And for Steve Rogers' Captain America, Chris Evans' performance, there are times where he's approaching the team or where his ideals or what he stands for is being shown. They heavily popularized that, but they heavily put that out there for him. And one of the things they brought up in the movie is that Anthony Mackie's or Sam Wilson's Captain America is going to be something that people need to aspire to. But there's never a moment where he's in front of a large crowd of people and they give that scene of a young kid or an older man looking at him and smiling as a form of acknowledging that he is someone to aspire to. And for a movie that's called Brave New World, it's very contained. Yes, they go from the White House. Yes, they go to the Indian Ocean. They go to Japan for a scene. They go to a few government facilities. But it doesn't feel like it impacts the world or they're seeing much of the world or even how the world has been affected by the things that have happened in the MCU. Early on, they talk about the blip. They talk about the invasions that they suffered. They talked about all the things that the Avengers have done over the years. And that's part of the president's campaign. Harrison Ford's character being Thunderbolt Ross, who is now the president of the United States. He just won the election and now he's in office and he's congratulating the American people for being absolutely resilient. But even then, the MCU has done a horrific job talking about the blip and how catastrophic it was. Because it wasn't just that they blipped half of all life on Earth. It's half of all life in existence in the MCU that got taken away and then brought back simultaneously 5 years later. So economically, it should have destroyed things. Trees and food had to have died as well because it's half of life. Not half of human life, half of life, intelligent life. Half of life of food supply, plants, animals. That stuff got blipped off and then magically just comes back. So that's one major thing that they kind of still gloss over. Another thing that the movie does touch on is the Incredible Hulk way back in 2008. And some people were saying it was basically Incredible Hulk 2. And they did not do too well of a job kind of putting the Red Hulk in the forefront. They have it in the trailers. They have the marketing material for it. But he's not shown. It's just being built up for a 5-minute fight towards the end of the movie. And that was one of the things I wish we got to see more of, where it's basically Incredible Hulk doing a world rampage. But more on that in a second. Back to Anthony Mackie, there needed to be a significant point where he's actually addressing the American people, because Thunderbolt Ross, spoilers, like I said, is the Red Hulk in this movie, and he does turn into the Red Hulk. That's the president of the United States. If I see the president turn into a giant raging red monster, I'm probably going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my mind, okay? So if there's not necessarily there is a vice president, but they never really talk about the vice president in this movie. So if there's no one stepping in, if he goes on a rampage, who will? And that's where Captain America needs to come in and actually take control. He's a government position now. That's what Harrison Ford, that's what Ross wanted him to do. President Ross wanted him to be more of a government position. But Anthony Mackie was a little bit, or Sam Wilson, Captain America was more apprehensive on joining in on that because they want to rebuild the Avengers with him being the face of it. But the government still probably wants to control Captain America and the Avengers, like how they did back in Civil War with the Sokovia Accords, which Ross was the one, or the general, who had put them out for that. He put up the Sokovia Accords and had to make them sign it, so that way they worked as government agents and they were deployed when and where, like foot soldiers. The villain in the movie, being the leader, was kind of weak, and his was it assassins or his hired guns? They were a little bit more interesting. The Surface Society, I understand they're probably going to save it for another Captain America movie, Captain America 5. So that they got their little setup. But the leader was kind of a terrible villain. For someone who has the ability to see all types of probabilities, when you name a high probability of Captain America doing something and he doesn't do it, it kind of makes it seem like you have a faulty brain. Very faulty. Besides having a huge head and whatever. But there was a point where he said there was an 86% chance that Captain America turns around right now, and then he doesn't turn around. Bro, you had a 14% chance for him to actually show up, and he did. Then there was a time where they said he had like a 77% chance of surviving this bomb, and which he did, which was like, oh my goodness, the hero of the story didn't die in the first 30 minutes of the movie. Like, I mean, who would have guessed? But then a lot of his plans got foiled fairly easily, and he just seemed very weak. Like, the best thing he could do was mind control people, and he had to set that up. It wasn't like he could just tap his head like Professor X. He had to set it up, which makes him different. But his way of doing things, and then like the unease of turning everybody into a sleeper agent like that was actually pretty cool. But then his plans often got foiled. He was trying to cause war between America and Japan. And at that point where America and Japan were over in the Indian Ocean, and they were not trying to fight, but accidentally ended up firing rockets because the leader ended up utilizing his sleeper agents. That should have been the point where the president, who was on the boat while in the middle of war, or in a Cold War, whatever you want to call it, that should have been the point where the president turns into the Red Hulk and just starts going crazy. And that's where Captain America should have stepped in and tried to fight him, knowing he can't beat him, which was another thing at the end of the movie. He knew he could not beat the Hulk, so he had to find another way of stopping him. So that should have been round one between them. He can't win, just like how the final fight was, but Hulk gets away, and he's probably headed either towards Japan or he's headed towards America. And that's where the panic should come, because there isn't really many Avengers around. Like, Doctor Strange is off world somewhere in the end of his movie. Spider-Man's restarting his life, so we're not gonna see him. I don't even know where the rest of the Avengers are. Wanda's dead, and she was a villain. Where are the rest of the Avengers? I don't know. Ant-Man's off doing something. He could have showed up. That wouldn't have been bad. He could have showed up, even if he didn't want to show up. I mean, it didn't really matter, but he's off somewhere. I didn't know where they were going to go with that. I know they had a lot of reshoots, but this should have been the point where Captain America becomes the leader of America and leads the people to safety who are unsure that the government can protect them from another Hulk attack. We're not getting the sorry green Hulk that we're used to seeing. We're getting a more powerful Hulk. We're getting one that's more dangerous. And that's also the president of the United States. And now we got other countries in so much fear that the president might actually go around tearing things down because they don't have somehow they don't have the artillery. Or maybe they do have the artillery, but it might be too catastrophic because it might get innocent people hurt. That they might have to resort to nuking him. And that's the point where Captain America needs to be able to put on the shield, pull out his wings, and say, look, we have to utilize the government technology that it could be used to stop him. We could have brought out another Hulkbuster for this movie. I would have loved to see a Hulkbuster show up. With this new and improved Hulkbuster in this film, it's just in case when Tony passed away, he just didn't believe that Hulk might have actually hulked out again, or if he died in space, he would have had something to leave the people. Now that I think about it, when this Sokovia Accords was made and Tony Stark actually joined the government side, he should have had the technology to make a Hulkbuster. Because yes, the Hulk was not in Civil War, but just in case, he had another Hulkbuster ready for them just in case. Or he revamped it, and the U.S. government put red, white, and blue all over it, and they would have given it to Captain America. He would have had his fight round 2 with the Red Hulk, which he would have lost again. And we can actually see the Hulkbuster get destroyed, because I believe in the original comics, the Hulkbuster, or World War Hulk, when Tony brought out the Hulkbuster, it got absolutely wrecked and destroyed. It really didn't do anything. So this could have been that moment where the Hulkbuster didn't do anything. It got absolutely wrecked. But yeah, at that point, we needed to see other weapons that could help contain the Avengers. I know S.H.I.E.L.D. has been taken down, and then like they created S.W.O.R.D. or whatever. But we could have seen neutralizers. We could have seen how Captain America could have led the military to fight him with the limited resources that they had, but only to more so distract him, because they know they cannot beat him, and they don't have any other heroes aside from Captain America to take on the challenge of fighting the Hulk. But all in all, the movie was not bad. I am looking forward into what else they have in store for us in the new MCU. Thank you guys so much for listening. I know I've just been here yap. It's another yap session. But thank you guys so much for listening. And again, comment, like, share, subscribe. If you made it to this part of the video, type Montega. M-O-N-T-E-G-A. Montega, because I'm wearing the hat, right? Yeah. Shoot, I'm coughing again. Type this. Montega. Type Montega in the comment section below. Again, like, comment, share, subscribe. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching.